One, two. Is this on? I'm going to try again to get away from comics on my media day and talk about another of my favorite franchises, Doctor Who. Doctor Who got exposure to American audiences through the PBS network. That station was known for educational shows, mostly for children, back in the 70s. The station launched in October of 1970. In addition to the educational shows the network is famous for, it also had original programming for adults. These shows included Masterpiece, Nova, Austin City Limits, This Old House, and Frontline. They were also the place to see American broadcasts of shows from the BBC, such as Benny Hill, Faulty Towers, Monty Python's Flying Circus, and Doctor Who. I know that Doctor Who had one season broadcast on one of the big three networks at some time in the late 70s, early 80s, but I can't find out which one it was. And it was this exposure that made Tom Baker the most popular Doctor, to many the only Doctor, in the US. When that happened, though, I was already a fan from the PBS broadcasts. PBS broadcast edited versions of Doctor Who starting in 78. They added a short recap to the cold open and a short teaser to the end, cutting up to 3 minutes from every half-hour episode. Most of the Doctor Who stories at the time were 4 to 6 episodes long, so they would air the individual episodes on weekdays, and then on Sunday would broadcast a movie-length edit of all the episodes to the story in one sitting. I was a huge fan of Doctor Who and really connected to how he was an action hero who didn't use weapons. The closest he got was the third Doctor, John Pertwee, had hand-to-hand combat training, sort of. He was also known to do his own stunts, sometimes taunting his stunt double by saying, "Make it look difficult." More to the point, the Doctor used his mind in combat situations. He wasn't afraid to run from danger or advise others to run, and that wasn't coded as cowardice until much later in the show, and even then the cowardice was shown as a perk, not a personality defect. Doctor Who was so popular on PBS in the 80s that America got to see the 25th anniversary show, The Five Doctors, before the BBC broadcast it in England. At one point, there were fewer than 10 PBS outlets who were not showing Doctor Who. Unfortunately, in the late 80s, the PBS station that serviced the area I grew up in was one of them. It wasn't until I was getting the VHS videos in the 90s that I even saw the Colin Baker or Sylvester McCoy Doctors. I did get all of the VHS releases and was able to track down most of the Target novelizations, two collections I no longer have, unfortunately. In 1991, Virgin Books started producing new adventures for the Sylvester McCoy Seventh Doctor. In '93, I wrote to Virgin and pitched a book that was about a British citizen who had encountered all of the previous doctors in his backstory, told via flashback as the novel progressed, and brought that knowledge to help the Seventh Doctor in the events of the book. Virgin wrote back, but they said that no one was interested in reading about the prior Doctors and asked me to rework the book with the Doctor as center character and without any reference to the previous Doctors. While I was working on this, though, they started publishing the Missing Adventures line of Doctor Who books featuring prior Doctors in '94. Also, from '97 to '99, they produced over 80 books featuring a new companion introduced in the New Adventure books, Bernice Summerfield, without having the Doctor in them at all. The Missing Adventures were all very well written. I had many of these, might even still have a few. I was at a Doctor Who convention in Chicago when I learned of the Big Finish Productions line of Doctor Who audio dramas. The Sirens of Time was their first production, and it featured the 5th, 6th, and 7th Doctors. Everything I'm seeing online says this was released in July of '99, but I swear I already had this in '98, maybe even '97. No, I bought it at the convention Visions. But that convention ended in '98. Maybe I got a pre-release that was available for the con. I don't remember. I attended Visions in '97 and '98. I remember a drunk Jerry Ryan playing with my hair in '97, and I didn't know who she was. In '96, Fox had the rights to produce Doctor Who in America and broadcast a made-for-TV movie that was supposed to serve as a pilot. The working title was The Enemy Within, but it is now just known as Doctor Who, the movie, officially. It broadcast to 5.6 million viewers, a 9% share, and so didn't get the series that it was supposed to launch. At the time, it was said that Fox expected Doctor Who to outperform The Simpsons, which had an audience of 15 to 20 million viewers at the time, and that the disappointing ratings are why Paul McGann didn't get a show from it. McGann actually wouldn't resume his role on live action until the Night of the Doctor mini episode in 2013, leading into the show's 50th anniversary episode. Most of his character's development happened in the Big Finish audio releases. The Doctor Who revival of 2005 brought a much larger audience and a more stable future for the show. It had multiple spin offs, including Torchwood, Class, and the Sarah Jane Adventures. It's interesting to watch in order, as it is clear the show's producers thought this was a show for children right up to episode 5 of the first season, at which point it became much more serious and stayed that way. Doctor Who is the longest running science fiction television series, as recognized by the Guinness World Record Committee. It first broadcast on November 23rd, 1963. The live action series has been produced by 3 different companies at this point. It has had novels, audio productions, and comic books from at least 8 different companies. It did take a 16-year hiatus in its live action series, but the novels, comics, and audio episodes were filling in during those years. Unfortunately, the 2026 Christmas episode, marking the return of Doctor Who to the BBC, has been cancelled, and the showrunner Russell T Davies has left the production. Current news is that the BBC is looking to license the show back out to a third party, but there are not even rumors as to whom this might be. Are you familiar with Doctor Who? What is your opinion of it? Would you be interested in a deep dive on any of the different eras or different doctors? Leave a comment down below and let me know what you would like for me to talk about.